Okay, this is the biggest book haul I have done since I started this channel. It's been like 5 months since I did that book haul last time, and I think I have like around 30 books I need to show you guys. So, and I'm even going to open some book mail live as well. So yeah, this is gonna be insane. So make yourself a cup of coffee or tea and let's enjoy some good book mail, shall we? Okay, first up we have this. Can you see what this is? I'm guessing most of you have no idea what I'm holding. It's because I got this yesterday from the Orion publishing group. They sent me Yumi and the Nightmare Painter with a handwritten note. Unfortunately, it's not from Brandon Sanderson, but it's still a very nice touch. And the crazy part is that they sent me this painting kind of thing, and they sent me paint. So here we have numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and on here we have different numbers as well. So if you use this to paint this, you will literally paint the cover of Yumi and the Nightmare Painter. And I didn't request it, they literally just sent this to me. So thank you so much. This book is on my TBR for this year, so I'm really hoping to get to it soon. I've only heard great things, so thank you so much. And a couple of months ago, they also sent me The Frugal Wizard's Handbook for Medieval England by Brandon Sanderson, the longest and craziest title I've ever come across in my whole life. This book actually isn't really on my TBR because from everything I've heard, I just don't think I'm gonna enjoy this one. This is so nice. They've now sent me all 3 of the UK editions of the Secret Project, so thank you so much, Orion. I kinda enjoyed Tress, but I didn't love it. But I'm expecting Yumi and the Nightmare Painter to be probably my favorite of the Secret Project. So yeah, if you read any of these, definitely let me know what you think about them. My voice keeps cracking because I have a cold. But we will survive. Now, before we open the book mail, I need to show you some insanely beautiful books. You've probably seen this everywhere. I've posted, everyone has posted me posting about it. This is Of Blood and Fire by Ryan Kyle, the Broken Binding edition. I mean, this has gold edges, beautiful cover. There's no text on the cover, which I just love. And it's signed and numbered. It has a full colored map. It has art on the naked hardback. It has so many illustrations. I mean, honestly, this book is absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, I can't say thank you enough to Ryan Kyle for sending me this. This is honestly one of the prettiest books I own now. While I really enjoy the first book, I really think that all the other books in the series are just so good. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of Ryan Kyle, and I'm so fortunate to be having this one on my shelf. The other insanely beautiful book I received, Ilborn by Daniel T. Jackson, also the Broken Binding Press edition with gilded edges, beautiful cover art by Katrina Paines. You know, Ilborn is one of my favorite self-published books. This book is literally 5 out of 5. And Angel Sin, which is book 2, is also 5 out of 5. These books, oh, they're so good. Please read Ilborn if you haven't. Similar to the other ones, this one has like art on the end paper, gorgeous art on the naked hardback. It's signed and numbered, and it has a full colored map. It has illustrations. Like, I know these books aren't cheap, but considering what other publishers that are doing special editions will charge for a similar book like this is actually quite cheap. So yeah, one of my favorite books I own for sure. I can't believe that this actually is a thing. Ilborn has the Broken Binding special edition, so yeah, absolutely incredible. Alright, let's open some book mail. This is from Your Paper Quest, and I'm just gonna be transparent here. This is actually sponsored, so they're paying me for opening this in this video. But this is a new monthly subscription based in the UK, where if you sign up, they will every month send you 2 self-published books, so around 500 pages of content, and they'll also add like additional bookish bits like bookmarks and stuff like that. And the theme and the genre might change every month, but they really like emphasize accessibility to the different genres. So there's definitely something for everyone here, and they even have a book club where you'll get invited to if you sign up. So yeah, let's open up this package and see what's inside and see if it's worth the money. Alright, let's have a look. Okay, so there's 2 books here. Let's first look at this. Your Paper Quest, Hidden in Plain Sight. So here's a brief description about the first 2 books, and there's also a barcode here on how you can join the book club. So that's a really nice touch. I'm really excited to see which books are included. So the first book is, oh, look at this cover, Troop of Shadows by Jennings Sabrinsky. I love this cover. I actually haven't heard about this one, but this one also has a note within it from the author herself. That is a really nice touch. And there's also a stamp here from Your Paper Quest, endorsed by Your Paper Quest. And there's even a cute bookmark within the book. So that is awesome, and that is really fun. And the other book is, hey, I've actually read this one, Mordecai by Mark Karacher, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's actually a patron of mine, which is quite funny. I'm not sure if they knew this, but let's have a look if there's anything inside. Here's another note, which I also think is written by the author. There's another stamp of approval, and there's another bookmark inside. Oh, this is actually a great read. I really enjoyed this one. It's quite like atmospheric. It reminded me a bit of Neil Gaiman. So yeah, 2 self-published books a month and additional goodies. I think this is a really good deal, and especially if you're into self-published stuff, which I am, I can highly recommend Your Paper Quest. Thank you so much to Your Paper play requests for sponsoring this video and sending me a package of these 2 books. I really appreciate it. Alright, let's move on. I have so many books. Next one we have Harbinger of Justice by Andrew Watson, fellow booktuber. This cover is by Felix Ortiz. Absolutely beautiful. I've heard great things about this debut, and I know Andrew, he's a lovely guy. He sent me a signed copy. Now I actually haven't read this one yet. Also, look at the naked hardback. How beautiful is that? Beautiful book, really nice hardback. So if you're interested in this one, I would actually recommend checking out the hardback because it has art on the naked hardback and just a stunning cover. If you read this one, definitely let me know. But this is on my TBR for next year, so hopefully I'll get to it. And then we have The Shadowgate by L.L. McRae, book 2 in the Dragon Spirit series. So the Iron Crown is the first book. I read that last year and I absolutely loved it. It literally saved me from a reading slump, and I've heard The Shadowgate is just as good, and some people even say it's better. So I absolutely can't wait to read this one. I've actually met L.L. McRae at FantasyCon last month, or sorry, that was in September. She was absolutely lovely, and the Iron Crown has now received the Broken Binding Special Edition as well, or the treatment, and I absolutely can't wait to get my hands on that one. So yeah, if you like dragons, definitely could recommend this one, and I also just love these covers. Okay, we have a lot of special editions. The Water Outlaws by S.L. Huang. So this is the Inkstone edition. Look at these edges, they're so cool, especially when you look at the cover, and the edges, they just fit perfectly. This is signed and stamped by the author, and is also numbered, and I haven't really heard much about this book, but it just looks, the cover looks so cool. It sounds really refreshing and different. But yeah, if you read this one, definitely let me know. But yeah, Inkstone, they're definitely doing a great job, and they're quite unknown on the market as of now. So if you're into special editions, definitely have a look at Inkstone. Could definitely recommend it. And then we have Ascension by Nicholas Binge. This is the Broken Binding edition. Beautiful sprayed edges. A lot of people say that this is similar to Blake Crouch, like a sci-fi thriller. And I read Dark Matter and Recursion this year, and they were some of my favorite books. So if people even like compare this to Blake Crouch, I need to read it. And this is also getting an adaptation, I believe. It's also signed and numbered. So yeah, I'm really happy with this one. This is quite short, so it looks like a nice palette cleanser. So if you read Ascension, definitely let me know. But except hearing the comparisons to Blake Crouch, I don't really know much about this one, but I'm very excited to read it. Alright, and next up we have The Sword of Kagan by Emma Wong. This is the Wraith Marked Special Editions. One of the most beautiful books I own. Gilded edges. Can you see how beautiful is that? Covered by Felix Ortiz. This cover is absolutely insane. This is arguably my favorite fantasy standalone that I've ever read. It is just brilliant, and if you've been a booktube, you've heard about this book so much. Look at that art on the end paper, it's incredible. Look at the naked hardback, it's incredible. And one of my favorite things about this special edition is the map in the back. It is absolutely beautiful. This is also signed and numbered. This book is honestly just gorgeous, and the story inside is incredible as well. So yeah, I love this book. I love this edition. Thank you so much, Wraithmark, for sending me this and for sponsoring a video like a year ago or something. I'm so glad to be having this on my shelf. Next up we have The Ice by Ryan Cahill. This is the R copy. This is the signed and numbered edition. There's only 50 of the numbered editions, and there's also a beautiful art card, and I have a blurb on the back. How cool is that? So thank you so much, Chronicle, for including a quote from my review on this one. I read this one. You need to read all the other books in the Bound and Broken, at least in my opinion, before you pick up this one. But yeah, if you're a fan of the series, you probably read this already. It is brilliant. I think the novellas are arguably better than the main stories. But yeah, I'm really glad to have these books both on my shelves. I'm losing my voice. Who loves a good bargain? I recently went to a charity shop, found the first 2 books in the Kingkiller Chronicle, or I'm saying the first 2, but the only books in the Kingkiller Chronicles for £2 each. So I paid £4 for both of these, and I still haven't read this because there's been so much controversy about Patrick Rothfuss, and also because there's no release date for book 3, and I'm not sure if we're ever getting book 3. But yeah, within the next 5 years, I'll definitely read this. I'm expecting to love these books, and I'm really happy that I was able to find these at such a good price. Then I also have a couple of books that I picked up because of the Viking book club. If you don't know, on my Patreon we read 1 book per month, and if you're on tier 3 and 4, you can put a book forward. And for September, we read Kings of the Wilds. I went out and bought a physical copy. Didn't really enjoy this one. And then last month we read City of Brass, and I didn't really enjoy this one either. I actually enjoyed this one much more, and I can definitely understand why people love this one. It was like really refreshing kind of fantasy, but they're just like some tiny nitpicks, and overall I just don't think I'm the target audience, but I can definitely understand why people love this one. But yeah, bought these 2 for the Viking book club, and now we're reading the Dragonbone Cherry if you want to join us. I have so many books. The other one is Reia by Carl Forshaw. This is a nice, beautiful book with sprayed edges, and this is also signed and numbered. I actually don't know much about this one, but the author very kindly reached out to me and said, I want to send you this book with no strings attached. If you read it, you can read it. If you don't get to it, that's also fine. A couple of people I know have said that this was one of their favorite reads of the year. So that's very, very high praise. But yeah, thank you so much, Karen, for sending me this. Then we have Fourth Wing. I made a couple of videos of this one. Didn't enjoy it. Probably never gonna reread this. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep this book. Let's move on to something more exciting. Then we have another special edition. The Words of Kings and Prophets by Shauna Lawless. This is the Broken Binding edition with beautiful spread edges. This is signed and numbered. My wife has read this book. This is book 2 in the series. And she enjoyed this book more than book 1. And she really loved the first book. So now, yeah, we own both books now in the Broken Binding editions. She's a big fan. And I'm really, really happy I was able to gift this to her. So technically, this actually isn't my book. Then we have another Broken Binding book, The Promise of Blood. I recently read this book. And this will arguably be one of my favorite reads of the year. So good. But yeah, the Broken Binding subscription is just crazy. Look at these edges. When we have all 3 books, it's just gonna look crazy. And there's a bookmark. There's beautiful art on the end paper, and look at the naked hardback. I mean, these books for the value is just insane what we're getting, and this is also signed and numbered. So yeah, I know these aren't as cheap as other books, but the amount of additional like goodies and stuff that Broken Binding are putting into these is incredible, and I love this book. So I'm so glad to have a special edition of this one. All right, we have 5 more books left, so we're almost there. When I went to FantasyCon a couple months ago, an author approached me called Philip C. Quaintrell, and he was like, I want to gift you the first 3 books in the Echo Saga. So you look at these edges, these are beautiful. He also signed them, and I have to show you the covers. So this is book 3. These covers are absolutely gorgeous. I read the first 2 books. So this is book 2, Empire of Dirt. I recently read this one, gave it 4.5 stars. I absolutely loved it. It's like classic fantasy that has a modern feel, similar to The Bound and Broken by Ryan Cahill or John Gwynne. And here we have Rise of the Ranger, which is book 1 in the Echo Saga. Yeah, there's 9 books in total in this series. I read the first 2. I'm planning on reading the 3rd book before the end of the year. These covers are gorgeous, and I really, really enjoyed this. So yeah, thank you so much to Phil for sending these 3 books and signing them. They're absolutely beautiful, and I can't wait to read book 3. And then we only have 2 more books left. The Prophet of Adan and Return to Adan by Philip Chase, fellow booktuber. Now, I read The Way of Adan, the first book in the series, earlier this year, and I really enjoyed it. It was classic fantasy, quite Tolkien-esque, but I really, really enjoyed it. And I've heard book 2 and 3 are even better, and they're also chunkier, for sure. I'm also a big fan of these covers. Now, initially, I wasn't a huge fan, but just because they're so different and they're also fit the story so well, I'm really happy that he went with this style. Philip Chase was kind enough to send these to me, and he even signed them, so thank you so much, Philip. And I'm hoping to read these 2 probably next year. I don't think I'll have time to pick up any of these 2 this year. So those were the like 25 or 30 books I have received in the past 5 months. So many beautiful books, so many books I'm excited to read. Let me know if you read any of these. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching to the end of this video. Now, if you want to support what I do here, then I do have a Patreon. Now, a reason why I created a Patreon was to find a new way to reinvest to the channel, because basically since I created my Patreon, I spent around 100% of my earnings to hire an editor to do a couple of videos for me a month. Now, since creating my Patreon, an editor has done more than 20 videos for me on my channel, so it makes a huge difference. Now, if you join my Patreon, you will also get some benefits. For example, you'll get a name in my videos like these guys. You'll also be able to join the exclusive Viking book club where every month we read 1 book together, and you might be the one to put the book forward. This month we're reading this book, and next month we're reading this book. You also get to vote on my next read, get access to exclusive videos like a wrap-up or even book reviews, and so much more. But this is totally voluntary, but all support is much appreciated.